Hey everybody, it's February 12th, 2022. It's a beautiful day here in New York. It's about 55 degrees right now, and it's like 10 o'clock in the morning, so it's going up to the 60s. But tomorrow it's going back to the 20s. So I thought what I would do is make my potting mix. So I have my coco coir and some perlite and a container, and I was going to put it together on my table over here, but I think it's a beautiful day, so I'm going to take it outside, and here we go. All right, so like I said, it's a beautiful day here in New York, Zone 7A. Really gives you spring fever. You want to get out in the garden and start planting, but it's February, so we still got at least another month, maybe a month and a half of really cold weather. So it's going to be 28 degrees tomorrow, and then like in the low 20s on Monday. So anyway, what I'm going to do is I'm going to mix like 50-50 perlite and coco coir. Now the coco coir comes in blocks. I don't know if you can see it, but it's kind of like a solid block of coco coir. So what you have to do is put it in some water, rehydrate it. Kind of like what you would do with peat moss, because peat moss wants to repel the water, so you got to kind of soak it. But this is really, I mean, never worked with coco coir. It's actually the pith of the coconut husk. So it's like a coconut skin, but pulverized. And this is organic, and it's washed, so there's less salt, or hardly any salt compared to some of the other ones. You don't want a lot of salt in your soil. So. But it's great. I used it mostly for starting microgreens in the house. Just the coco coir and water. It's a soilless mix. You don't really need anything for microgreens. You don't need any nutrition or any soil or anything really for microgreens. You can grow them in soil, but not necessary. And then what I do with the extra coco coir after the microgreens are done is I just add it to the compost pile. So what I'm doing is I'm going to put this brick in here, break it up a little bit, and then maybe too much, but if I have leftover, I'll just kind of save it for. I mean, I'm probably going to plant 2 trays of seeds this year. I'm going to try to take it easy. Last year I planted way too much, so I have 60 cell trays. I'll show you that when I go inside. So I'm going to probably do 2 of those. So it's 120 seedlings, and our garden's not that big, so we probably don't need more than that. But I did buy a lot of seeds, so who knows? You gotta be careful with this perlite. I should be wearing a mask. In fact, well, I don't have my mask with me, but it's very, it's called friable, so you get in the air and you can breathe it in, and it's probably not very healthy to breathe in. So I'm just cutting the corner. About that much. If you're not familiar with perlite, it kind of looks like some of that frozen ice cream that comes out. It's like looks like snow, but it's a volcanic rock. So again, be careful. You should wear a mask when you use it. So got some water from inside because I have the water shut off right now for the winter, and I'm going to add some water in here. I have a funny feeling this container has holes on the bottom, so you may lose some. That's why I'm doing it outside. Yeah, there it goes. But I should be able to get most of the water into the coco coir hydrated. May need a lot more. These are pretty big containers, but probably use 2 or 3 of them to rehydrate this. What they recommend is that you take the coco coir and soak it for a few hours overnight, but I usually just get my hands in there and I don't know if you can see it's starting to break down. And I just kind of get in there and mix it up, break it up, add some more water. So as you can see, this is a pretty decent potting mixture. No need to buy one in the bag. I mean, that bag of perlite cost me about $17 at Home Depot. And the coco coir was about, I think that was an expensive one. It was about $20. But that's 10 pounds. And when you rehydrate it, it probably, you know, cover up that whole shed. But anyway, this is a really nice soilless potting mix. No need to add anything to this unless you're going to be growing things in one container or one pot and not transplanting them. Then you might want to add some fertilizer, rock dust. But anyway, I'm going to keep mixing this. I'm going to go get some. Probably what I should have done, and I'll do this next time, or if you're going to do this, is soak the coco coir first, get it nice and moist and broken up, and then add it to the perlite. Because now I got to dig down to the bottom and find any solid pieces of coco coir, which is not a big deal because it slowly breaks down, and even if it's dry, I mean, you don't want a really wet potting mix. You just want it to be, you know, moist. You can always add water. The main thing is similar to peat moss. You want it to start to absorb the water and not repel it. Once it does that, you know, you could always add more water. So I'm starting this a little bit early, but I wanted to get the potting mix ready. There's a few seeds that I may start this weekend. I have some celeriac that I want to try to grow this year, and I know that takes a long time to grow, and if it's similar to celery, the seeds will take a long time to germinate, so I want to start those maybe now. And next week I'm going to probably start my peppers, and then tomatoes, and what else? And then I have some of the cold weather crops too, like the broccoli and yod pha. I bought another Asian green. I forgot the name of it, but I'll put a link down below to what it is. And yeah, so this looks pretty good. I mean, I don't know if you can see it, but it's moist and it's all incorporated. So it's beautiful. I mean, it's a beautiful mix of just coco coir and perlite. So it's going to retain the water, and it's also going to, the perlite's going to let the water drain away. It's a perfect seed starting medium. And I got plenty of it here. So if anybody needs some, let me know and I'll put it in a bag and send it to you. Just kidding. Hopefully the audio is good on this one. I have a new wireless mic coming. And it's coming from Amazon today, but I just wanted to get out while the weather's nice and warm and get this stuff started. Hopefully the next video the audio will be a little bit better. Yeah, so that's my my seed starting mix, and that's plenty. Any leftovers I have that I don't want to, you know, save until next year, I'll just add it to the compost pile, or I'll add it to some of my containers this year, some of the grow bags, and yeah, so that's it. As you can see, I still got a whole bag of perlite. So doesn't go bad. And I use my coco coir that I had bought last year or 2 years ago for my microgreens. I purchased a new one, a 10 pounder here. Didn't even open it yet, so I've got plenty of this stuff. And this doesn't go bad either. So, I mean, I could probably make this potting mix for the next 5 years, 10 years, $30 or, you know, $37 worth of supplies and water. Not a bad investment. So anyway, that's a seed starting mix, and I'll be back in the next one, show you how I'm filling up my trays. Have a great day, everybody.